Tonight on Live with Cordone and Kilgore.
It's time for tunes and tales from the sea to the shore to the soul, when we welcome the experience of the original songs and stories of High Tide Tom.
Right now on Live with Cordone and Kilgore.
Hello, everybody. Way to strike a pose, Natalie. So,
right? You like that? Little jazz hands action for everybody.
Hand. Yeah, very nice.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Live with Cordone and Kilgore. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Natalie Cordone.
And I am Shawn Kilgore. Today is Monday, July 26, 2021, and this is episode 23 of Live with Cordone and Kilgore with our very special guest, a very good, dear, and longtime old friend of mine, Tom Wang, who is becoming better known these days as High Tide Tom. He's an original singer and songwriter, and he's an incredible storyteller, and he has prepared a couple of tunes for us from his brand new album, and I can't wait to bring him on. So I'm super excited for tonight's show.
Yeah. And of course, welcome to everyone who is watching, whether you're listening to the audio podcast or if you're joining us live as we stream to you on the Cordone and Kilgore YouTube channel and Facebook page by way of StreamYard. So if you're joining us tonight on Facebook, please invite your friends to come along by sharing this live stream. So you'll start by selecting share from the bottom left of your screen. You can see that big arrow there. Then hit write a post, which is also on the left. And finally,
did we lose Natalie? We might have lost Natalie. She said that they were getting some thunder up there, and it looks like we may have lost her a little bit. So what she was saying was then you will finish by writing a little message there, and then you can hit post there to share the stream. We hope you guys can do that. I'm going to take her out there for a second. Hopefully she can reconnect. And if you are joining us on, if you haven't already done so, we would love it if you would visit our Facebook page and click the thumbs up to like our Cordone and Kilgore Facebook page. That will tell you, keep you up to date with what's happening with us and when we're going live and who our next guest will be. And then if you are joining us on YouTube, we would love it if you would like the video there and go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And there again, you can set alerts to be notified whenever we are about to go live. So we want to start out by saying thank you to all of you who join us every week. Of course, we get quite a few viewers and listeners to the audio podcast after the fact, after we're done. But we really appreciate those of you who join us live on a regular basis. You are our regular cast of characters, and we love the fact that you are here. And speaking of being here she is. She is back.
so we are having an enormous thunderstorm, and not only did all of the power go out, so I was talking to myself in the dark, but we had no internet. So I am now hot spotting from my phone. So hopefully it will continue to work if we continue to have lights and internet. If not, I shall be here knitting in the dark by myself.
That's pretty amazing.
I am.
Well, I was just talking to everyone and saying thank you to those who join us on a regular basis live. Of course, thank you to all of our viewers and listeners, no matter how you join us, but we do appreciate, I was saying, our regular cast of characters that joins us live, which includes, of course, the mamas, of course.
The mamas.
Nice, very nice. My cousin is here this evening. Hey, Brett, welcome. And of course, Mama Wilson, another one of the mamas, and Faith and Don, of course, very, very faithful.
Faith and Don, love having you here.
Always spending Monday nights with us, so we are thrilled. Natalie, I'm thrilled that you're back. I kind of went through everything that you normally do there while you were out, so here we are. So other than, and we're ironically, we're getting a little thunder right now too. Are you all right?
Are
you still there?
Well, it is just a storm and mess around there. Can you see me?
Yep, I'm seeing you and hearing you just fine.
Okay, awesome. That's good to know. Well, I was just hearing that you also are having a storm. So
yes. So yeah, but we're doing all right now. So are you all right?
We'll hang in there for as long as the internet allows.
All right. This is the, I guess we used to say the joy of live theater. I see the flashing. Are you all right? Is everything, should we?
I am in my own personal like weird horror film right now. I'm gonna be the one who makes it to the end in the horror film.
Right?
Okay, all right.
Of
Well,
course.
here we are.
Yeah.
Well, if you and Tom have to forge on without me, you'll know that I'll be back as soon as possible. Until then, right. I'm here with you for as long as we get a chance to be.
Are you doing all right otherwise? I know you want to tell everyone where you are, what you're doing, what you're up to.
Yeah. So I am actually up in the Maryland, DC metro area, visiting some family, my aunt and uncle who are always watching the show, and my grandparents who are also all watching the show, are hanging out, and it's been a wonderful couple of days to, I'd say, rest and relax, but I've also been working on a project while I've been here. As I have been since May. So yeah.
I am so excited and so proud of you for this project. So I'll tell everyone a little bit about it. So there is a Tony Award-winning play by American playwright Terrence McNally. The play is called Masterclass. I'm sure a lot of you out there are probably familiar with it, but it is presented as a sort of fictional masterclass that's being given by the larger-than-life opera singer Maria Callas near the end of her life. This takes place in the late 1970s, I believe, or in the 70s. And so throughout the show, she is like, alternately like super impressed and super disappointed with the students that come along who parade across the stage before her. And through those interactions with singers, she retreats into recalling parts about her life and career. And of course, it's going to feature excerpts from famous operas sung live by the students. And ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Miss Natalie Cordone will be taking on the role of Maria Callas in this production of Masterclass, happening September 15th, 2021 to October 3rd, 2021 at the Lyric Theater of Oklahoma. And we could not be more proud to send her off to do such a big thing. So, Natalie, there you are. Can you tell us how you're feeling about it? How's it going?
It's amazing. I am, for any of you who know the show, you know that it is a real tour de force for whoever gets to play Maria Callas. It is 43 pages, and I am guessing I have somewhere between 80 to 85% of the dialogue is mine. So it's a big old monologue in lots of parts. But it's a show that I first encountered when I was in college. So this was more than 20 years ago when I first saw the show. And I very much identified with the students at that point, as of course it would make sense, as I was studying opera in college. And so I loved the show. And I remember thinking, whoa, that lady learned a lot of lines. And then, and now getting to go over the script and learn more and more about Maria Callas, I identify with her in so many ways, in terms of she was really the ultimate complete actor singer. She firmly believed that music should be expressed in the way that the composer intended. And when you sing great music like she did, so much of the work was already done for you in the music. But she brought a real actor's mind to the music along with a gorgeous voice. So getting to dive into the way that she worked has been such a pleasure and slightly overwhelming. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a lot of work, but it's been good. I'm thrilled to get to the show. And it's not a part that I ever would have considered myself for. So I'm really, really grateful that Michael thought of me and offered me the show. So,
amazing. Yeah. Well, congratulations. We're very excited. We can't wait to hear all about it. Hopefully we'll be able to do, a show or two while you're out there and in performances. So super excited for that. So that is some good news. And speaking of good news, as all of you out there know, we always love to accentuate the positive in life when we come on. And of course, we like to share stories that we find on thegoodnewsnetwork.org. So hopefully you will go there and find some good news stories of your own to uplift you and get you through your days. The story that I found that I'd like to share with you this week is about a 99-year-old woman living in Minneapolis. Minneapolis. And over the pandemic, she became, so they're, you know, the old saying, good fences make good neighbors. But during the pandemic, good fences also made good friends for the Olsen family and 99-year-old Mary O'Neill out of Minneapolis. So Mary lives alone. Her family is sort of scattered across the country. And as the quarantine wore on, Mary managed to forge a very special friendship with one of her neighbors, Benjamin Olsen, who is currently now age 2. But over time, Mary would, you know, they would communicate just in the back. They would be out in their backyards and communicating over the chain link fence. And she says that she basically watched him learn to walk and talk and eventually run and play. And she says, despite the huge differences in their ages, Benjamin was just so drawn to her, delighting in her presence. They developed games that they would play together over the fence. Like he would like throw the ball to her and she would lean over with her cane and like hit the ball back to him with her cane. And so, you know, this sort of reminds me of, you know, the old saying also that we should see our worlds through the eyes of a child, because to this child, there is no difference in age. Ben just sees Mary, right? He simply sees his friend, not a number, right? She's just Mary, or he started calling her Mimi. That's what he calls her. The mom says that he would just go, Mimi, Mimi, and they would go outside and start looking for her. The mom, Sarah Olsen, who's these photos and videos that you'll see are courtesy of. But of course, the family says that this really kept Mary going through this long period of isolation. And we have a little video to share with you about it. Check this out. As the pandemic restrictions lifted, Mary and Benjamin's bond continued to blossom on both sides of the fence, because now the gates can be opened.
Hopefully I'm going to get some dirt.
Benjamin joins Mary on her back steps to play games, blow bubbles, and enjoy the activities that bring joy to both the young and the young at heart. In August, when Mary celebrates her 100th birthday, it's a good bet that Benjamin and his family will be there to help her blow out the candles and make a wish. But we're guessing that the one thing she won't be wishing for is a best friend. Benjamin's already got that covered. Isn't that lovely?
I love that. That's so cool. All I could picture was like, it's like intergenerational croquet with her little
right. No, totally.
It's
we have some others joining us.
Intergenerational.
Yeah.
Oh,
exactly,
hey, Dawn.
Exactly. Hey, Dawn. Our good friend Dawn is here, and of course, my sister is here. I don't know. I think we missed you last week, but we wished you a happy birthday last week, sisters. I don't know if you saw, but happy belated birthday to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Very, very good. I love it. So, speaking of great yards,
today we are happy to say that they are back.
So, if somebody doesn't want to use herbicides to control their lawn, what's the alternative to constant mowing and hedge trimming? Well, in the olden days, they used goats. Right. So, in fact, many organic landscapers today use goats as they're basically just living weed whackers. They're immune to all sorts of natural poisons and seemingly are unfazed by thorns. So they can eat poison oak as easily as we could like eat a piece of celery, which I didn't actually know before looking up stories about goats. So in Manhattan's Riverside Park in New York City, 24 goats have been unleashed upon untended and overgrown brush and weeds in order to avoid having to use chemicals and spending thousands in labor costs. So all of those onlookers, which you saw at the beginning of the video, gathered around to watch the calico herd of animals charge into the park in what rooters called the running of the goats. Hopefully they're not sticking their horns in anyone's behind. So on the ceremonial day of deployment, Dan Gardonic, who is Riverside Park's conservatory president and CEO, said they chowed down on Japanese knotweed, easily traversed the hard to reach terrain behind me, and gulped down poison ivy without even giving it a second thought. It's healthy for the goats and it's good for the environment. Now that's farm to table. So along with working much longer hours than landscapers, goats, according to Jordan Martins Chinek, who is the son of the owner of Green Goats Farm, who provided the animals, actually neutralize a lot of the seeds from the various unwanted plants. So they will take the seeds with them to wherever they go, and that prevents them from regrowing next year. So they're actually good for the environment in all kinds of ways. So, Shawn, are you ready to go buy some goats?
I actually am. I've always said I wanted some goats. We've actually lived around some neighbors that have had goats before.
Well, there you go. Now you can get rid of your lawn service and you can just have some goats hanging out in the backyard.
I'm not sure the lawn guy would like that very much.
No, that's true. And the front yard might be hard if you don't have a fence. You have to have a fence in your front yard. But I
That's
love
a great
that
story. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they are gonna, like, the public is gonna vote on the best one. Is that right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So they're gonna have like the goat of the year that will come
Like,
out and get
greatest
to
of
be
all.
the greatest of all goats, or greatest of all time. GOAT. That's what it was. Greatest of all time. Thank you for remember that. Yeah. So there are good things happening in the world of humans and goats today.
Amen. Amen.
Welcome back to New York City. Well, I think that since we're talking all things good, we have to invite our guest. He's been waiting backstage for 15 minutes.
It's time.
Ready to sing some songs.
Yes.
So Tom Wang is truly a one-of-a-kind entertainer. He's an award-winning actor, musician, writer, comedian, director, DJ, MC, and acclaimed life of the party. So Tom has performed in thousands of shows, ranging from musical theater, leading men, like he played Jesus in Jesus Christ Superstar, Harold Hill in The Music Man, to Danny Zuko in Grease, some of our favorite shows there, to a singer and radio concert host. So his storytelling sage/troubadour character, High Tide Tom, has been enjoyed from the Great Lakes to the Florida Keys, and now we get to enjoy him right here tonight. So please welcome to the show, Tom Wang, and he's bringing High Tide Tom.
Well, as I like to start, welcome to Tunes and Tales with High Tide Tom. This is a song on my debut record album, which is out now. It's very self-explanatory, but it's on par with the segment we just saw on Mimi and Benjamin. Jumping generations and going past trees into your neighbor's yard. Once again, having that freedom. But like I say, this song is pretty self-explanatory. The trailer's closed, the van is pulled away. We hugged and said goodbye. I have the key, some empty rooms, bloodshot hazel eyes. So up the steps to my solitude, the future is unknown. Since she left me after 20 years, I'll have to call this home. Home is where you lay your head. Home, all I need's a single bed. Home, someplace to keep your heart. People tell me it's a fresh new start. This time I'll make it on my own. That's not a scary thought. So many people come and go, a lesson we've been taught. For so long I was a happy man, then sorrow came along. I'm sick to death of being oh so sad. How about a cheerful song? Home is where you lay your head. Home, all I need's a single bed. Home, someplace to keep your heart. People tell me it's a fresh new start. This town is really pretty cool. I spent my childhood here. Played some ball, laughed a bunch, drank my first beer. So quit the wine and wipe them tears away. By the bootstraps pole, keep the hope alive and stop complaining, man. Look at the glass half full. Home is where you lay your head. Home, all I need's a single bed. Home, someplace to keep your heart. People tell me it's a fresh new start.
Yeah, love it.
Thank you very much.
My
Excellent. I was so happy to have you here. Just a real quick history of how Tom and I know each other. Some of you know that I worked in my college years for SeaWorld of Ohio as an audio engineer, and that is where Tom and I met. Tom was an announcer for the Wild Wings Bird Show there at SeaWorld of Ohio, and I ran sound up in the sound booth. And we're great friends back then. We spent a lot of time together outside of work, and I'm super thrilled to be reunited and to have you on the show tonight. So I can't thank you enough for being here.
It's a thrill for me to see you both. I'm fans, and Natalie, great work with Masterclass. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And just to see Shawn again when we talked on the phone the other day, you still have that same buttery voice, man.
Thanks.
I love to hear you. It's been so long since I've heard you sing. I'm thinking next time you're back in Ohio, we're gonna have to get together.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I like that idea very much. Well, that leads into our first question pretty beautifully.
Sure.
Because, oh yes, and lots of applause are coming your way,
yes.
It is very well deserved.
Thank you.
So you started in theater, right? And you've developed High Tide Tom sort of as your alter ego outside of the theater.
Yeah.
So can you tell us how he came about coming from theater to now doing this?
Well, I, like both of you, very blessed to come from a musical family, whether we were listening to it or playing it. And yeah, church choir. In fact, my niece keeps making fun of me because I was in the church handbell choir. And she's like, wow, I'd leave that off your resume. I'm like, no, I was proud to be in the hand.
No, that's cool.
But church
That's a
choir,
good music theory there in the handbell choir. That's
exactly.
good stuff. Yeah.
But yeah, I was 4 of the 5 of us were theater or music majors in college.
Wow.
My parents were 40 some years in the church choir. So church choir, school choir. My dad and I even sang in a barbershop quartet together where we were in the Music Man, and we ended up liking it so much that we ended up staying together for years after that. So the development of High Tide Tom came about. Really long story short, the guy who originally owned this guitar, I used to be in a band with called the Hooligans. It's an Irish folk band. Well, 2 of the guys are now gone. Ben and Ralph McGinnis, a couple of wacky brothers, and Tim Wallace. Well, Ben is still alive. He lives up in Maine, and he gave me his brother Ralph's guitar.
Oh.
Wow.
We probably played close to 400 gigs together in the 6 years we were. So that was kind of the impetus for me during the shutdown over the last couple of years, because, I had to become a solo artist. Like you, Natalie. Sometimes opera singers, your options are a little limited. So I've picked up, a dozen, 15 chords, and like you said, my image line now is I like to play songs from the sea to the shore to the soul. This album, the only way I can describe it is because, and Shawn would, I went through a tough time with my divorce, and this was totally therapeutic. I know it sounds cheeky, but the songs just fell from me.
That's awesome.
I had a muse, and of the 11 tracks that are on there, 9 of them are original. 1 was written by my old friend Tim Wallace, who passed away. I just said was in the Hooligans. And the other's an old Irish traditional, which I kind of give like an island feel to it. Friend of mine played vibraphones on it. Incredibly blessed. I have over a dozen really talented musicians from 4 different states who all but one completely donated their time.
Wow.
Incredible.
I even have a friend of mine who's down your guys' way who plays in the Orlando Symphony. Guy I went to high school with. He's
What's he play?
4th chair trumpet player for the John Capella, probably the best musician to ever come out of my high school.
That's amazing.
Worked with him at some point, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure we did, because we've done
quite
a few gigs with the Philharmonic. Yeah.
Connection, good.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, 800 miles away, he laid down a 12-bar trumpet solo. So I'm very fortunate. I hope that answers the High Tide Tom question. And as I said to Shawn kind of off air too, the name Tom Wang, I've gotten so many raised eyebrows over the years when people just don't know what to make of it. So 2 or 3 of the radio DJ jobs I've had, I've changed my last name just because it requires far less explanation than you don't look like a Wang. And I hear that all. So the High Tide Tom, being born of my musical theater and Irish folk background, that's kind of the purpose of this character. That, and I have a big mouth. I like to tell stories.
Nice. So that's what. So yeah, the voicemail is my favorite when you call and say this is your favorite Wang, and I was like, yeah, it is. It is.
And there's a lot of us.
So you mentioned your influence of Irish folk music, but you also seem to have an influence, and we hear all of this on the album. The album is amazing. I absolutely love it. I've been listening to it for a couple of weeks now, and it's really great. And there are songs. I think I told you about the song that you're going to do later. That there's one verse in there that the first time I heard it, I was like, oh god, it moved me because I felt like it was about us. You know what I mean? It just seemed very much, you know. So can you tell us a little bit, because I mean, as like Jimmy Buffett, like you have a very like oceany, beachy, laid back kind of feel. So can you tell us a little bit more about your other musical influences?
That's the purpose. Well, I tell you, the one guy, the only entertainer rock concert that my three brothers and my dad and I ever went to was at Old Blossom Music Center. We went and saw John Denver.
Oh, nice.
So there were those, you know, we were really spread out. Natalie, you have no idea, but my three brothers are much older. My sister's much younger. I was very fortunate to hear a lot of cool music, like the Doors and Led Zeppelin. I was 5, 6 years old. And, you know, here's me singing Hello Dolly on the hearth, you know, doing my jazz hands and kick. And my brothers are we're listening to heavy metal. So the impetus behind the records, again, is therapy. It really did just come out of me and help me spiritually.
As music tends to do for all of us, whether it's writing it or listening to it. But I love that. So you never experienced any kind of writer's block. You sat down and all the tunes just came out. Yeah.
And you guys know how fortunate that is. And one of the most sensitive questions that I'm getting already from people: have you started working on another one? Yeah. I'm like, yes, I have. As a matter of fact, I've got 3 songs down already. But this one,
amazing.
I'm still sort of digesting it. But now, obviously, gigs. I just want to start playing as much as possible. Again, with my older brothers, the 2 artists that we were allowed to, that was kind of crossover with my brothers and I and my parents, we could listen to John Denver and we could listen to Simon and Garfunkel.
Nice.
So you can hear that, both of them, in my songs.
For sure.
The Irish folk music, I was a late bloomer. That wasn't something I did until my 30s. It's like the Grateful Dead. I didn't get into the Grateful Dead till I was in my 40s.
Wow.
So you can, and you know, I was going to ask you guys if there's anybody new that you've gotten into, because I can't actually come up with an artist, but I can come up with new genres that I like, you know, that I've never listened to before. One of the radio stations I used to work at, we played a ton of Brazilian jazz, and I forgot about how cool, like Antonio Carlos Jobim, his body of work. I mean, I can put that on my turntable, in my car, on the CD player, on my computer. There's thousands of songs in that genre, and I just don't get tired of it.
Yeah.
So if I can bring some of that island palm tree feel in, you know, which is a little tough. My dad was an Ohio farm boy, but and I don't want to get, no disrespect, I don't want to get pigeonholed as a country singer, because I just don't think that's my style either.
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I don't really hear a lot of country. I mean, you can hear the John Denver, that sort of classic country, maybe a little more than.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
But
to me, John Denver is still very pop. Like, it's folk pop, but it's definitely not.
It's more folky, right? It is a little more folky.
Yeah, to me, it feels like folk music. Like, that's where, but again, with that Jimmy Buffett influence of, you want to kind of have a drink with an umbrella and be able to listen to your music while you're laying on a lounge chair somewhere.
That might be on my resume next, Natalie. So just
fantastic. I'll be happy to write it for you. You just send it over and I'll punch it up.
Thank you.
And the cover of your album needs to be you on a lounge chair somewhere with
believe me,
umbrella.
The next one will not be black and white, I assure you. That was my gloomy mid-winter, mid-Ohio, trying to be an artist mood. But the funny thing was, my niece took the photo, and it was the first shot we took. We were there for we were there for an hour, and that was the first shot she took. So,
is this downtown Cleveland somewhere?
It is. That's the mighty Cuyahoga right there, Shawn.
Oh, very nice.
So for those of us that are not from there, what is the mighty Cuyahoga?
The river that burns.
Yes.
Well, a lot of rivers caught fire, truth be told, back in the 60s. But yeah, Cleveland was an industrial town, and it was an industrial mess for a long time. And the Cuyahoga River, which means crooked river, caught fire in 1969. And Cleveland became, international spotlight for all the wrong reasons once again. But
there's a great song, the Randy Newman "Burn On."
Yes, "Burn On."
That's about the river burning.
Correct.
And it's great. They actually used it in the opening sequence of Major League. Is what they used that for.
You are right.
Darn.
Yeah.
You are right. Good call.
I love that movie, and I could not have told you that song was in it. So I'll have to go back. It'll give me a reason to go listen to or watch it again.
That's a fun movie to go back and watch again. I watched it not too long ago again. It's great. Yeah.
Great cast. Yeah.
Yeah, big time.
And so much fun.
Yeah.
Good.
So we know that days like this, which Shawn has put up the album cover for a couple of times,
right?
We know that that's out now, right? So can you tell us a little bit about where we can find it, where we can find you, how we can follow up with you?
Anywhere you download music. I mean, it was kind of funny. I went through BMI, to register the songs, and there were, oh my God, there had to have been 40 of these agencies. 3 different long columns, and it gives you the option for the ones that you don't want to be on. So everything from Spotify to iTunes, they're all already checked off, and I'm like, I can't think of any I don't want to be on. So
right, why would you not just let us have your music in every way we can go and support you as an artist?
Thank you. That's my goal.
Yeah, awesome. Well, we can definitely find you on your Facebook page as everyone's looking. So if you're on Facebook right now and watching us there, you can, after we're done with the show, go grab High Tide Tom's Facebook page and find him there. But before we let you do that, do you mind singing us one more song?
Oh, I'd be delighted.
Was that the interview? Awesome.
Sure.
Yeah, we'd love to see it.
Thank you once again for allowing me to be on the show, both of you. Tunes and Tales with High Tide Tom. Beautiful summer night here in Northeast Ohio. Lake Erie is about a mile that way. I wrote this song a couple of years ago, sitting on my front porch. It's that time of summer's evening when the sun is setting late. There's a golden insect flicker all up and down the street. The clouds are high and silky. The flag should be brought in. I can hear I-90 traffic and I smell in my gin. It's a warm time, warm time. Pine tree scented breezes fill my soul. Stars and that crescent moon shining for us all. Living in the moment as time takes its toll. In Cleveland, like any town, we have things that we like. Euchre, Lake Erie, and Saturday night. Me, I have a front porch and friends who like to hang. Grab your guitar and a 6-pack and come party with Wang. 'Cause it's a warm time, a warm time. Pine tree scented breezes fill my soul. Stars and that crescent moon shining for us all. Living in the moment as time takes its toll. Know that time of evening when it's easy to be sad, thinking about old lovers, friends we've had, faces etched in memory, laughter crystal clear. Those who've gone before us, and those we wish were here. It's a warm time, yeah, warm time. Pine tree scented breezes fill my soul. Stars and that crescent moon shining for us all. Living in the moment as time takes takes its toll. If I could wish something for you, tell me, what should I choose? To always know victories, never to lose. To only have good times, laughter and fun. To never know sickness or miss anyone. Be prepared for heartache, real love and pain. Accept all joy and sadness, all loss with gain. Work hard when you have to, dance when you can. Know that we are equal, every woman, child, and man. Make it a warm time, yeah, a warm time. Let the pine tree scented breezes fill your soul. Stars and that crescent moon shining for us all. Living in the moment as time takes its toll.
Yeah.
Yay! Oh, thank
Man,
you so
what a
much
great
for-
tune and what a great
Oh.
message. I mean,
Yeah.
everything. So the verse about where it's easy to be sad and remembering the faces and people and wishing they were still here, like that one gets me.
Yeah.
But then that whole stream of lyrics at the end with such a positive, just line after line of just different outlooks of positive ways to look at things. I mean, just beautiful, really. Congratulations, because I really do love it. I really do love it.
Thank you. And honestly, backyard fires at your parents' house, Shawn, did come to mind when I was writing that song.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Your birthday on the 4th of July?
July 2nd. July 2nd.
July 2nd. Because I always remember around that time of year, we always had a great party at your folks' house.
Yeah, this is my mom saying, I remember him.
Good.
Oh, good old SeaWorld of Ohio.
Good.
Yeah. Shawn's
Awesome.
just been following SeaWorlds around the country ever since. So, well, Tom, that was amazing. But before we let you go, each week we like to take a moment to get to know our guests and our audience a little bit better in a segment we call Getting to Know You. So will you stick around with us to play for just a few minutes?
I'm ready. Sure.
Awesome. So it's a series of questions randomly pulled from a deck of cards called Pod Decks, who are our first official sponsor for the show. And now it's time for Getting to Know You, which is powered by Pod Decks.
This edition of Getting to Know You is powered by Pod Decks, the hottest new tool for podcasters and can make for a fun night at home, too. Simply shuffle up, ask a question, and let the good times roll. Check out poddecks.com and use code GOODVIBES for 10% off your order.
All right, it is time for the High Tide Tom edition of Getting to Know You. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right, yeah, get nice and warm. Nice and warm.
Here we
All
are.
right.
Here we are.
Question number one.
Question number one.
Thank you. Okay, so electric or manual toothbrush, and why? Do you prefer what you prefer?
Manual, because I've always had a phobia about sticking something electric in my mouth.
That's fair. That's good.
It's a
Since
good
I was
answer.
a kid,
It's very specific.
even when it was like plugged in on the back of the toilet, it used to scare me. I was like,
Not
Not
gonna
having
do it. Natalie, what about you?
So I am in love with my electric toothbrush. If there were some kind of a contest for favorite appliance in the house, I think that my Oral-B electric toothbrush would win. However, Shawn knows this about me. When I travel very, very, very light, right? Like I take very little with me, but my electric toothbrush and my manual toothbrush both go with me every single place I go. And I use them both every single day.
okay.
Manual.
Do you have a certain order?
Yes. So electric, because it has a timer, right? So electric 2 minutes, 3 in the morning and in the evening before I go to bed. And then every time in between, I use my manual toothbrush for quick touch-ups.
Got it.
I
Excellent.
may have a slight OCD thing when it comes to brushing my teeth a lot. What can I say?
No,
Hey, nothing
can-
wrong with that.
dental hygiene
right.
is no joke.
That's right.
That's very
not,
true.
not in this house. It's
lot
not.
of other
No.
lot of other health issues are linked to that, right?
True.
That's
All right.
right.
We
My
got
heart
some
will be
people,
strong forever.
Yes, exactly. Chiming in. Manual, scrub as hard as you want.
That is
Nice.
wrong. That is a bad influence, mother. Bad.
And there we go. Let's see. Electric brushes are better.
Yeah, they are. I'm not gonna lie.
All right.
But you should have both. You should have the option.
And
of both.
then manual because I like to get my teeth clean. Well, I think the electric gets your teeth clean also.
very clean. If you haven't tried an electric toothbrush, like if you haven't done a real good one, not the battery operated one, Yes, I says that she is with me on them both. You need them both.
What
Just
about a
saying.
water pick? I use a water pick.
Oh, do you?
That's cool. Yeah, that one freaks me out. See, kind of like the way it does for you. The water pick freaks me. Now though, there's a water pick toothbrush. Like it's the toothbrush, but it has the water coming at you while you're brushing. I don't know.
You're right.
I would try it.
That seems like it could get messy.
Yeah,
no?
That's what I thought. I don't know. But I would try it. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so Shawn,
awesome.
What's your deal? Which one? Which one?
What's your deal? Well, we don't have time for that. But
that is true. I've been trying to figure that out for 10 years.
It's electric. Boogie, woogie, woogie.
It's electric.
Yeah, so it's a rechargeable, like Oral-B electric one.
Yeah.
But you know what I love is the little so that you don't have to pull off dental floss anymore. Those little picks that have the little dental floss on them. I love those. I'm sort of obsessed with those.
Things.
Oh, do you?
I hate those things.
All right.
Chris loves them. Yeah, I love dental floss though. So I'm again weird. I'm just weird. So are you all water pick then, Tom?
I do use it.
Yeah.
I do use it, and I floss and just my regular dentist plastic brush. Yeah.
Well then, see, you're doing. We're all on the right track. That's the good news.
And I can't. At my age, I can't complain regarding teeth, hair, and vision. 57 years old, I still don't wear glasses.
That's amazing.
I don't know how.
Fantastic.
Did no one in your family or?
Everybody in my family wears, and started at young ages. So I just dodged a bullet. I'm very, very lucky.
Yeah.
We just see like a carrot patch all behind him in the yard. It's just all he eats all day long.
Healthy
By the way, Shawn, your third button is down.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding.
He likes it that way.
That's how good I can see.
Right? You can see it from Ohio. That's right. Yeah. Not even on the screen. He just saw you from Ohio.
Did you see I'm not wearing any pants? No, just kidding.
Awesome. And on that note,
question number 2. And of course, as always, everyone joining us live, please feel free to chime in and share your answers with us to all of these questions. Yes. All right, here we go. Question number 2. Tom, 70s or 80s fashion? Which do you prefer and why? That's a good question.
Oh, I went through the 80s, so I hated it. But my brothers in the 70s didn't look any better. I mean, I was the borderline. I did wear, like, I guess preppy would have been. I mean, I had the sweater over the shoulders and the button-down collar.
Yes. That was the 80s. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Not my first choice, but the lesser of two evils, the 70s or the 80s. I guess I would say, because we could still wear like cutoffs, and I mean, again, with 3 older brothers, I had hand-me-downs for a decade.
Yeah.
My mom didn't buy new clothes except for sneakers for me for 10 years.
Right.
I'm
glad you didn't have 3 older sisters.
Yeah, do you, Natalie?
That would have been tough if they'd been all hand-me-downs with the sisters.
Although the singing "Hello Dolly,"
that's true. And Shawn will attest, I look good in a dress. I do.
It's true.
I'm glad to know that.
What about you, Natalie? Which do you prefer, 70s or 80s?
80s, hands down. We had lots of like color and big hair and shoulder pads and sequins, and
that's true.
Yeah, I'll take that over. To me, the 70s, this is terrible. They just look dirty. Everybody just looked dirty. Yep. It's not my decade. Yeah. Nope. I'll take the glam, the glitz and glam in the 80s. I mean, it wasn't attractive, but it was, they were trying.
I guess if I had to choose between, I would choose 70s also, Mama Wilson, because I don't know, it just seemed a little more, I get what you're saying about being dirty. I like looking dirty. They were, earth loving, tree hugging, right. And I kind of identify with that. I kind of feel like I probably should have, even though I was born in the 70s, maybe lived through a little bit more of them and been, but yeah, let's see. Mama says she likes both, prefers both. All right.
Wow. Nobody's going with me on the 80s there. I'm shocked. I thought that was a hands down easy question.
I think it was probably, it was very different for, the 70s, very earthy, very earthy.
Earthy.
Yeah.
And
but the 80s were different it was different for ladies as it was for guys. You definitely.
Yeah, that's true.
True.
That's true. You're right. Yeah. I hadn't thought of it that way, but you're right.
Gee, Dad, I never thought of it like that. Very Brady Bunch. All right. Yeah. Question number 3. Here we go.
Question number 3.
When on a roller coaster, are you in the front row or the very back row? And why?
Last seat every
seat.
time. Last seat, especially at Cedar Point, because they always said that there was like a whip factor. So if you were on the inertia, you went faster in the back seat. So as an 11-year-old boy, I bought into that early.
Yeah.
And again, Shawn and I are very fortunate to live near Cedar Point, which is a massive amusement park
Amazing.
here in and I
America's roller coast.
Yeah, that's
Is that
right.
really the tagline?
Yeah.
That it is. But
I
yeah,
was only there once, but it was incredible.
The back.
I mean, it was definitely a 2 or 3 days of just constant whiplash. It was good.
yeah.
Have you been in a while, Tom? Have you been recently?
That's a good question. The last time I went, I went with someone who got sick,
Oh.
so cut the day
That's
short.
so good.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's
even
not fair.
that was probably 6 years ago.
Okay. Yeah, I know they've been, probably not open last year, and I know I got a friend of mine that actually left Universal to go up there and work. So
Wow.
that's cool. What about you, Natalie? So are you in the front row or back row?
Yeah, I really always just wanted to get on as quickly as possible. So I really didn't care if it was the front, the back, or whatever in the middle. I just wanted to get on it again, get on it again, get on it again. That was always my thing. I was a big fan of the single rider line too. Like, I'll split up. We're not going to talk to each other on the ride. I don't care.
Right.
Just keep it moving.
Yeah.
But I'd say if I had to pick one of the two, I'd say the front, because you just get a view. Otherwise, you're just looking at the back of somebody's headrest.
Yeah. I do. So my answer is about the same. I like the front for the view and getting to see everything without any kind of obstructive view, but I also like the back for that whip factor, for that.
Is it real? Is that a real thing?
No, that's a real thing. That's a real thing.
I've never heard of that before.
Yeah.
I've been
It feels
in the
very
back row
different
plenty of times, but
Yeah.
I've never
It
thought
feels
of
very
that.
different in the back. Yeah.
I feel
Let's
like
see.
this might be something we have to go try out.
All right.
Ooh, there you go.
We have access to some coasters. You name the day.
And I love them all. So
I'll meet you guys in any park.
Brilliant.
Come
Love
on
it.
down. Come on down. All right, let's see. We got so standing on the ground, terrified, looking up at my daughter.
That is where my mother spent most of her time when I was a child.
That's
That is
hysterical.
correct.
Yep. That's what Mama was terrified of coasters. I'll stand on the ground and watch. Nice. And then my mom said first row. She would ride in the first row when she rode them. All right. Well, that was good. That was good. That was fun. Those are good questions. Thank you, Poddex.
Yeah, and now we know that Tom and I get along on the roller coaster front, and we might just have to talk him into an electric toothbrush. That's really we're gonna have to get over that fear. If you can ride the front, okay, perfect. He's totally ready to go.
Tom, thank you so much. It's so good to see you, and I can't wait to catch up further and to spend some more time chatting. So thank you very much for doing this tonight, and congratulations on everything. And look forward to talking to you again soon.
You're both welcome. It was a thrill. Nice to meet you, Natalie, Shawn.
Yeah.
I'll see you soon.
Oh, you too. Thanks for sharing your time and your talent with us tonight. We can't wait to see you again. We hope you'll be a friend of the show. And you guys can all connect with Tom by visiting his Facebook page, and be sure to purchase and download his debut album, Days Like This. So thank you guys all for joining us tonight. Thank you, Tom, and we hope to see you again soon. And of course, we appreciate all of you who are watching, taking the time to join us, whether that's live or watching later the week, or if you're listening to audio podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, they're all available. So don't forget to ring the bell to make sure that you're the first to know when we go live. So we will see you next week, speaking of going live, and we welcome comedian, actor, podcaster, and former Seinfeld writer, Pat Hazel. Live with Cordone and Kilgore is made possible through the generous support of viewers and listeners like you. If you'd like to be a part of accentuating the positive with us, please visit our website at cordoneandkilgore.com. So we're going to leave you now with a time that we had a little fun with our live other audience. Have a great week, everybody.
Bye-bye.